Hello and welcome to another episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Connor Moreno, lead writer for UCLA Bruins on SI. And today we're going to go ahead and continue our ranking of UCLA's games, most important games this season. Last episode, we talked about the 10th most important game, which was Penn State. And today we're going to go ahead and move on to number 9, which is another not only ranked opponent, but another juggernaut in college football, Ohio State. So if you missed it last episode, we went ahead and said that the reason Penn State was ranked so high on the rankings is because, it's one of, if not the best team in college football. So obviously there's some importance to that game, but, UCLA are going to be heavy underdogs and most likely are going to lose that game. But it does still have some importance because it's a conference game, which is why it wasn't, number 12 on the list. And, an upset over Penn State would be great for UCLA's season, and it would, set a precedent, especially given how early it is. Well, it's not early. It's in the middle of the season, that Penn State game, but given how early it is, it would be a really great upset to boost the trajectory of this entire season for UCLA. And I will preface before we move on to Ohio State, I've said it every episode, I know that each game has its own, amount of importance. I think every game on UCLA's schedule is of the utmost importance, but as we know, some games do have more weight than others. They do hold more weight than others, and these two highly ranked opponents are a perfect example of that. So we move on to number 9, which is the number 3 ranked team in the nation, Ohio State. And it's pretty much the same reason. I mean, Ohio State is one of the best teams in college football. They're going to be a juggernaut. And UCLA is most likely going to be underdogs in this matchup. But as I said with Penn State, an upset would be great. The time that this game comes in on UCLA's schedule is in the middle of the season, kind of at the height of actually it's not on the height, I think it's week 12. Yeah, it's week 12. It comes at the height of their roughest portion of the schedule, though, which is you got Indiana, then you've got Nebraska, then Ohio State, and then Washington, and then USC to finish off the year. So I think that obviously this game might be a loss, but the games around it are also going to be super important because that could be the difference in, the Bruins making a bowl game or not, or even having a 7 or 8 win season or not. I think, I've said it before, I think that the baseline goal for UCLA this season is a bowl game. And if they can take care of business earlier in the season with their non-conference opponents and some of the opponents that they're going to be favorited over, then we can go ahead and see them, being able to comfortably lose this game because they're just 1 or 2 wins away from having 6 or 7 wins on the season. So that's the way I view it. Obviously, this game's going to be important because it's a conference game. I ranked it 1 spot ahead of Penn State just because, Penn State projects to be the better team, which means that UCLA has a better chance at defeating Ohio State or upsetting Ohio State than they do against Penn State. Although I will say, this one is going to be an away game for UCLA. That Penn State game is going to be in the Rose Bowl. So, take it how you see it. I'm pretty sure that these two games, in terms of importance, can be pretty interchangeable. But the one thing that is for sure is that UCLA is going to be underdogs heading into both of these games. As we've done with every single opponent, we went ahead and read some previews to what some analysts are saying about the team. And ESPN's Bill Connolly previewed the Buckeyes this season for ESPN. He did a whole composite preview of the entire Big Ten. So yeah, let's go ahead and read that. Let me just pull it up right here. Just trust the product. It's something I found myself repeating frequently as playoff expansion skeptics complained about how we would be losing the integrity of the regular season. Alabama will sit players for the Iron Bowl because the result doesn't matter and whatnot. But if last year's Michigan-Ohio State game taught us anything, it's that games like that will always matter. The Wolverines' 4th straight win over the Buckeyes completely reversed how Michigan fans would look back at 2024, and it sent Ohio State, and especially its fans, into a weeks-long tailspin, even though Ohio State still safely secured a playoff spot. The regular season is going to remain a delight because college football is a delight. Just trust the product. That ended up applying to Ohio State too. The dud against Michigan cost the Days Buckeyes a potential CFP bye, but they regrouped and unleashed their star power, winning 4 CFP games by an average score of 36-19. It wasn't a total surprise. They entered the postseason still ranked first in SP Plus after all, but it was quite the show of strength. A lot of names will be different this time. The Buckeyes start out first in SP Plus, but they'll have 2 new coordinators, Brian Hartline on offense, Matt Patricia on defense, leading a lineup that returns basically 5.5 combined starters. There are former blue chippers everywhere you look, and receiver Jeremiah Smith and safety Caleb Downs are 2 of the most proven players in the country, but both lines are starting over, and of the 4 players with more than 750 yards of scrimmage last season, only Smith returns. It's hard to be inspired by the new coordinator hires. In Hartline's first job as OC in 2023, the Buckeyes crashed to 34th in offensive SP+, and they hired Chip Kelly for a year. With Kelly off to the NFL again, Hartline gets a do-over. As for Patricia, well, he has loads of NFL experience and was mentored by Bill Belichick, but the last time he performed well in any capacity from a statistical standpoint was 2016. That said, talent rules, and both Hartline and Patricia will oversee loads of it. Likely starting quarterback Julian Sayin was a top 10 recruit in 2024. Smith and Cardinal Tate are a terrifying receiver duo, and there are countless other former blue chippers available. Likely starting running back James Peoples is a former top 200 recruit with excellent yards after contact potential. West Virginia starter C.J. Donaldson Jr. is physical too. And the offensive line has 12 former blue chippers and 6 players with starting experience, including 2 transfers. The ingredients are just as high on defense. Dave brought in a couple of defensive end transfers, Bo Atkinson from North Carolina, Logan George from Idaho State, who combined for 30.5 tackles for loss and 14 sacks last season. But that was about all the portal work he needed. Downs and linebacker Sonny Styles will clean up all of the potential messes, and plenty of 2024 backups thrived in limited samples, most notably ends Kenyatta Jackson Jr. and Joshua Mickens, and tackles Caden McDonald and Edric Houston. Sophomore corners Jermaine Matthews Jr. and Aaron Scott Jr. are probably also ready for larger roles alongside senior Davison Igbinosun. There are obvious reasons why Ohio State starts out on top. I wish I liked the new hires more, but if the Buckeyes repeat as champs, we'll all act as we have assumed it all along. So again, defending national champions, they're going to be playing against UCLA. They're obviously going to be underdogs in that matchup against the Buckeyes. But like I said, every game holds the same amount of importance, and if UCLA is the team that we all think that they're going to be this season, maybe an upset isn't as far-fetched as a lot of people are going to think of it come week 12. So yeah, without further ado, that'll be it for number 9. Tomorrow we'll come back with number 8, and we're going to start getting into opponents that we think UCLA should be favored in and should take games super seriously. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.